Good time.
$30.
You know the Wi-Fi.
Behind you.
Shared secret
Yeah.
award.
See it?
Very calm.
All right. Call to order the engineering committee for the San Lorenzo Valley Water District on July 15th at 3 o'clock. Leah, would you please take the roll?
Bob Russ.
Here.
Greg Brown.
I'm here.
Francis Cleveland.
Here.
And Bill Drake.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So let's see. I assume no changes to the agenda?
No.
I have none. Okay. Anybody online, Scott?
There's somebody online, their hand is not up.
Okay. Very good. All right. So the new business, we probably need a drum roll for this, Garrett. This is a biggie that we've been wanting to sink our teeth into for a while. So you're the guy, right? Go
Yeah,
into
I'll get
power
us-
usage, okay?
I can get us started.
All right.
So we have provided some totals on a past PG&E bill for the district. Those include electrical charges from the time period of January 20th, 2026 to February 18th, 2026, with 67 different locations or meters on that bill. The total of the bill was over $40,000. Annually, our bill for PG&E is over $500,000. So it's a significant cost to the district. I included some times of day where there's different charges from PG&E. So they have the peak charges are year round daily from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then they have different part peak PG&E charges depending on the time of year. Summer from June 1st to September 30th, daily 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. You have off-peak summer from June 1st to September 30th, daily 11 p.m. to 2 p.m. and winter from October 1st to February 28th, from 9 p.m. to 4 p.m. and from winter from March 1st to May 31st, daily 9 p.m. to 9 a.m., 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And then super off-peak in winter, that's from March 1st to May 31st, daily from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then we provided a couple charts and graphs that look at some bills from January 2026, February 2026, March 2026, and April 2026. That gets into the amount of money we're paying, how many kilowatts we're using in that period. And then the graph shows the monthly cost trend with a high point in February of $34,327 and a low point in April of $26,768. And then we also included a table and a graph for the top 10 sites by total cost based on the April 2026 bill. And you can see the biggest one is on Graham Hill Road, followed by East Cyane Road, and that would represent our wells. And I believe we have the Fall Creek diversion on there. That's raw water being pumped to the Kirby treatment plant in Pelton. We have 13060 Central Avenue. That's the admin building. We have Echo Booster on there, 17325 Highway 9. There was a series of questions that were provided by committee member Francis Cleveland, and staff provide initial responses to all those questions. I would say, as an overall look from an engineering department standpoint, we're interested in projects where we can eliminate pump stations. So the Lion and Big Still project, we were able to eliminate the firehouse booster, which is a big savings. We can gravity feed the reader zone from the Lion zone, which is a benefit to the district. We were supposed to be able to also eliminate the Blackstone pump station. However, the plans we had at the time showed a legacy connection between the Lion zone and Blackstone that went over the creek, and that line no longer exists. If we were able to reestablish that line or connect it from the other side of West Park, we have the PRV and we know the settings and everything from the plans. We could eliminate that booster by installing the PRV. And then we also installed a check valve at the end of Bear Creek Road, which will allow us to gravity feed Bear Creek tank and eliminate another pump station out there on Bear Creek Road. Engineering staff were also interested in combining zones whenever we can. And so that would be another benefit where we could eliminate pumps. We're looking at the possibility of eliminating Charlie Tank from the system. Right now, Upper Pasatiempo gravity feeds to Blue Tank in Scotts Valley, and then we pump the water from Blue Tank up to Charlie Tank. And if we could just connect the Charlie zone directly to Upper Pasatiempo, we could eliminate that pump. So that's another goal of ours, to combine zones when we can and eliminate pump stations. I'll turn it over to Jesse. He can talk about some of the operational goals.
Yeah, we'll start with Francis had a few questions a while back. Big issue or big topic, it's the time of use with our pumps. We do have a program in our SCADA that allows us to attempts to maximize the off-peak time. That being said, I think there are some additional programming we can do to SCADA to improve it.
Yeah, I would think so, just from looking at the peak versus the off-peak kilowatt hours. That's quite significant number in the peak times.
We do have a few sites that the storage is so low where we have to pump multiple times a day, and we're not able to stay out of the peak time, unfortunately. So,
But with battery storage, depending upon the site, that might be an alternative as well.
yeah, it's battery storage. As far as solar, we have 3 sites or 4 sites where we have solar. We have Mignano Woods, old well site that's no longer in use but still produces solar. We have our Bear Creek Estates wastewater plant that produces solar, and then our Lion and Kirby treatment plants that produce solar. Right now we have a Sandbar Solar Company looking at Kirby to, I guess, maximize what we currently have there, probably make some changes, upgrades. It's a pretty old solar system. And then we are also, I talked to a colleague, old Nate Gillespie, who's a manager at Scotts Valley Water, used to work here, and asked him what Scotts Valley did as far as solar. They actually have no solar. They did a study in 2024. Basically, they were told, the footprint, you're not really going to get a lot of return on your investment. Starting in 2024 too, a lot of the incentives for solar were cut back. So you're not getting as much bang for your buck on solar. But also I talked to an old coworker that retired a while back. I ran into him. I asked him, what we did about solar. And there was a solar study done apparently before my time, so probably about 20 years ago.
Trees have grown in the meantime.
Basically what was the sites that were had a large enough footprint to make a difference. We're going to be our Olympia well site, which is sensitive habitat, so they didn't move forward there. And then our probation well sites, which are we're there by easement. So, that I don't know how much more I wasn't able to find the report on the server, unfortunately. But that's the feeling I got is they kind of stopped there once they got the information back.
Yeah, so to be honest, I think the place to really start, other than getting rid of sites where you really don't need to have a pump, but for the existing ones, is to really fine tune the peak versus off peak and the demand charges. Because the demand, simple going over a demand charge at one point, I think during the month, depending upon what the contract says, keeps it up there for the whole month. So just and there were quite a few demand charges. So a lot of it is just plain taking what you've got and scheduling things better where you can.
Yeah.
You said that in some cases you can't, you don't have enough.
I think that's where
Thanks.
upgrading our time of use programming schedule.
Can you do that? Do you have a
So we can. It would take some additional programming, because we don't have them at all our sites. We're kind of in this area right now where we want to. We're a bigger picture of our SCADA system, and we're looking at currently the system we're using right now is very expensive to upgrade. So we're looking at other systems, a bigger picture. So we don't really want to put the money into programming and then go get all new RTUs. So we're kind of this little gray area right now. But I think, definitely whatever direction we take, we should upgrade our time of use program.
Yeah.
Improve it. I'll say that.
What is that, as a ballpark, what's the differential between the peak usage per kilowatt hour cost compared to off peak? What is it? I know residential, it's not much. It's only 43 cents versus 49, but I have a feeling it's a lot more.
Oh, it can be.
Yeah, that's what I'm just curious.
For me, with solar and battery, it's 21 versus 49.
49, yeah, 49 is the peak, even for commercial.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, because that sort of tells us what it's worth spending too, to try to get it off peak.
So like she mentioned, battery backup storage, that could be a possibility. I would say a lot of these boosters suck a lot of power, so that you need a pretty hefty battery storage. Not to say it's not a possibility though. Something to look into.
Yeah.
Well, there ought to be a cost benefit analysis for each site. Does this make any sense, or step away and look for another solution?
Each individual site needs to have its own analysis.
Right. And, as I think I mentioned in the notes that I sent, they're going to be, because it's not yet legal, the ability to actually just plug in some solar panels for about $1,000 pretty much anywhere. And you just literally plug it into the wall. So that might be enough for some sites. That would really help. Again, just to avoid demand charges, which is more a battery thing, but also just to offset, maybe you can squeeze more into the off peak rather than the on peak.
Yeah, that's just something staff or an expert needs to dive into. Reach that.
Sounds like we're looking at an optimization strategy so that you understand how close you are to going over the falls, so to speak, for the want of just a small amount of kilowatt hours to get you through that one gap. But if you had something that could see that coming up and say, nope, we can live with an alternative workaround for the next 6 hours or whatever.
And it's amazing. There are all sorts of apps, and just on my phone, for instance. I've got one that's for my car, for my solar system, for my battery system, and it all works together. And it tells me exactly how much energy I have used and where it's coming from and where it should be coming from based on analysis.
And Tesla's doing that analysis in the background for you, which is
well, it's basically on my phone. I mean, the algorithm comes from Tesla.
Yes, and they're optimizing battery charging so that the battery, because you talk about stress on these components, the battery at 100% charge is under a greater amount of stress, which was affecting lifetime. So what Tesla is doing is that based upon the history, and maybe this is something the district can take advantage of if you plug into a company that understands how these things work, so you can optimize the charge schedule, optimize the discharge, and minimize or maximize the life expectancy for the components.
Yeah, so that's, again, can't really tell much from looking at it like this, but you see all the different colors. The green is the battery, the gray is the grid, yellow is the solar, and it just
Is that the
decides exactly what it's going to do ahead of time so that it actually plans. Here's the battery planning
Yeah.
ahead.
Is that the Tesla app?
This is Tesla app.
I have that too.
So, I mean, I know SCADA systems can do the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
You just have to put in the data, the off peak, the partial peak, and the on.
Yeah. So when the program was designed for, it was, I think it was,
Oh, yeah.
it was in the 90s.
Right.
We're still
So
using the same
what's
program.
make,
The
the make of the SCADA system?
Emerson.
Emerson,
Yeah.
okay,
Emerson's
Yeah. all right.
I do know that
We have, okay, well, we also have Tesco and we also have Mission.
Oh, okay,
For majority of our time of use programs are going to be in Emerson.
okay.
just for putting it out there, I guess, sake of discussion, I've got the Tesla app too. I don't have an EV, but it is very cool. But I still think that batteries still nowadays are still pretty expensive. They're about $1,000 a kilowatt hour. So to really size a battery to handle any kind of a pump is probably not practical. But I mean, literally, but if we're only a few kilowatt hours shy of that
That,
hitting
that's
that
the
peak,
key.
then
That's the key.
that's worth it. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
I'll-
it's on the margin.
I'll-
It's on the margin. Yeah.
Hey, I got a free Tesla wall battery at my house through a PG&E incentive program.
Incentive program.
I imagine that, a water district can probably look at some type of grant, there may be programs out
That
there.
would be an interesting idea if there's a grant program.
We keep our eyes out, so that is something that maybe.
Because they're from an energy point of view, it's a very expensive way to save energy and then put it back onto the grid.
I think what's really beneficial right now from a residential standpoint is the area we live in, the power goes out, it's just seamless transition. And that's why PG&E was basically giving them for free.
Right.
But as far as, adjusting, and at the same time, you can use it to maximize off peak and on peak. You can actually program in the app, as put onto this program and it will do it.
Yeah.
As far as, as you mentioned, for large booster, where is that?
It's
Where
not
is
gonna
it? Where
pencil out.
So
No, it's a
But
balance.
But on the
That's what
margin,
that
as you say, Francis, yeah. Yeah, interesting. Because at least on the residential side, it sounds like the same is true for commercial. Just the cycle losses of having the Tesla discharge during peak to bring you below and then absorb energy during off peak. I think that is a 10 to 15% loss around, round cycle loss,
Yeah,
which means unless there's a 15% economic advantage, which there isn't, it's actually kind of a break even. I mean, that's the bizarre part about where we are right now. The difference between 43 cents a kilowatt hour off peak and 49 cents on peak is 13, 14%. So if you're spending that 14, 15% just discharging and then re-energizing the battery, you're not actually, as a customer, I figure I'm saving $1 a week doing this every single day. And it's like, okay, that's kind of pointless. But I think to your point, I guess, and I hadn't realized this, but I guess when the batteries are always at 100%, that's a stressful situation and
yeah. well,
reduces
you
their
don't do
lifetime.
that. You
You
leave
gotta
some of the battery
yeah.
Below that unless you actually can set it to whatever you want. I, for instance, leave some of my battery not used so that if there's a power outage, which often there is, I have, I can run for 2 or 3 days in my house.
I tried to set it higher than 80% and it wouldn't let me
For your car or your home?
for the home. In other words, it always has to, I couldn't set it to 100% except in emergency situations. It wouldn't let me do it. you know, and so I was just kind of struck by it when I tried to do that a few
Do
weeks
you
ago.
have solar?
I do.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
and they're now doing even more real-time pricing.
Yeah, no, it's
Like
just the
this
time of
morning,
use
it was
price. Yeah,
39 cents. I could buy it for
Yep, that's what
39
I-
and sell it for
100% it
7
happened.
cents.
yeah. So, and what's this percent down here? What does it
30.
drop to? 30. Oh,
Now
wow, you
goes
let
up
it go down to 30.
61.
We didn't have much sun. I didn't let it.
Oh, okay. That's just
The
what it did.
load
Yeah.
took it down,
Took it. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's,
Yeah,
and then that 30% is reserved.
there's a
Yeah,
fair amount of
yeah.
dynamic
Yeah, and I say I
pricing
raised
as
my
well
reserve to
coming
80%
in
because I was
more
tired
and
of it just
more.
cycling
It
and
used
not
to be
giving, not really
absolutely
saving me.
fixed. Now it's becoming
30
dynamic.
dropped down to 30%.
Again, I don't
reserve.
know
Oh,
So I
whether
I
the
take
tariffs
grid
that you're
power.
under have the
that-
same
yeah.
flexibility, or not flexibility, but the same ability to take real-time pricing into account or not. Again,
No.
that's-
We're on business accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. If you could play Cal ISO, that would be super cool.
well,
You know?
there are, Cal ISO has a lot of programs where you can, if you have the capability, you can provide various services,
Right.
ancillary services.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, if you have that capability. I was a little confused, and maybe you guys can help here. But in this data tab, site data monthly, it talked about load factor.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, and it wasn't clear to me is that it's not power factor. I never saw anything that referred to power factor in any of these.
Wouldn't have a particular price impact. It wouldn't be noticeable price impact unless there was a charge
Are you
for
getting
that power
Well,
factor.
For a power factor penalty on,
Yeah.
you have to have a huge amount of electricity that you're using.
Okay. So we're not even in that. Oh, that's good. Okay, I'm glad to hear that.
I think the power factor came up because we conducted one at the
That's what.
Bear
Yeah.
Creek meter shop when we purchased the generator and get it installed.
Okay, and we
Purpose of
corrected
that-
for it. So when I heard that, I thought, oh, so it's beneficial to correct for it because we're being penalized, but we're actually
No,
not.
it's not.
The purpose of that was
Oh.
to make sure our generator is going to run properly. Basically, is to make sure the
Okay.
way the contractor explained it to me is basically they don't want it's going to overheat. If
That's
you don't,
Yeah,
you're giving it more even. Let's just call it cleaner power. So
Right. yeah, you're
That's
matching
where
voltage
he
and
added-
amperage. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
the
what-
capacitors at that point to give it more. That will extend the life and the performance of the generator.
Oh, I got it.
I think the money saving, if there is going to be any, maybe it's hard to determine how much would be in the load factor, which you're seeing on the bill. So that is basically, it is your average divided by how much you use in the peak times 100. So the best example is we have a booster
Man,
a booster
It's
runs
used
once a day, but
once a day.
it's a very high.
It's a huge booster.
huge
But
booster.
it's
And it's
but
going
the-
400 gallons a minute once a day. It's really using a lot of power. Well, we could do it for 1 hour. Maybe we could get a smaller booster and do it over 4 hours and lower that load factor. So
Okay.
that's something we're starting to look into.
Yeah, that's
We're not going to be
good.
able to do that at every site, but maybe there are sites where we can replace.
Because
Are you
I noticed some
actually
load factors are only like 2 or 3%. So really low. So that would be a huge booster used, an hour a week.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
typically you see that at our wells, which is going to be hard to change. But we do have some boosters where we could possibly upgrade or change.
Jesse and I talked about that earlier this week
Yeah.
about, okay, what do we do at the wells? Do we put a smaller motor there, a smaller pump, and then we pump for a longer period of time? That changes. I mean, still not same amount of kilowatt hour.
Right. Same amount.
Extended.
And then you save the demand charge or reduces it.
So that's one thing we're looking where we could potential cost savings.
Yeah.
Another thing that popped up is we looked into this program. I think you guys have it. It's the statewide WISE program. It's Water Infrastructure and System Efficiency Statewide Initiative. So we're not a hold of them. We still are waiting for our kickoff meeting. So we haven't got very far, but they did take some information from me, just the initial phone call. And I think this program is more geared toward making sure your equipment is optimized. You're having, if you add some VFDs or you have the proper booster. But we're also hoping they can help us out with just looking at our PG&E bill and overall, more than just the boosters. So we're in the early stages of working with them, but more to come on that.
Do we have a lot of VFDs?
Oh, yeah.
We do.
no, this is.
Our wells have VFDs.
Close enough.
Some of our boosters don't, they just have soft starters, which is kind of.
So doesn't a VFD allow you to run at like 20% power?
Yeah.
So for a well that's maybe designed for 400 gallons a minute, you could say, hey,
Yeah,
we're going to drop you down to 100 gallons a minute, but run you for, 4 times as long.
yes.
Then you get it, then you start getting out
But
of that
it's the
pump
demand
curve, and
charge.
the
that could be
efficiency of the
affected.
pump just drops off.
What happens? I'm sorry.
The efficiency of the efficiency of the pump just drops off. You,
Oh,
you
really?
aim for the
Ah.
pump for only 20%, and the well's only producing 3% now. Because you got to be within that window of the pump when they design the pump.
Right.
So,
We want is
Right,
when you
right.
get a pump, you look at a pump curve, where's the most efficient
Right.
spot? So what we want to do is find a pump that's the most efficient spot is at that 100 compared to the 400 GPM, so, for example. So that's why, the VFD, yeah, you can ramp it back, but like Jason mentioned, so each one of those would have to have an outlet, power and cost analysis.
So I'm assuming, yeah, we have that operating curve of the pumps. We certainly have those specs.
Yes, yes.
But the question would be just for all of our pumps, sort of saying, well, what's the range that's still maybe economical to,
Yeah,
can we drop it by a factor of 2 and still save money, or is even that too much and we're out of
yeah, the
optimal
less
range?
efficient pump might cost more than you're saving on.
Right.
So, yeah, the power factors. Or excuse me, load factor. I get
Load
mixed up a little bit.
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Insofar as the billing from PG&E, are you seeing a category of billing called demand charges?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I didn't
Is it-
catch it.
Is it strictly kilowatt hours?
I think there is a demand.
Or
There
is
was-
there
there
a
were a
demand
few, yeah.
Yeah, there
were
are
a few.
demand.
That is from the load factor.
Okay, and
Yeah.
the demand is a KVA demand,
Yes.
which takes into account reactive power flow.
Well, is it
Which
K
is-
bar or just KVA? Or-
It's KVA.
It's KVA, yeah.
It's KVA. So there's watts and bars. So you've got
Uh-huh.
both real and reactive power that contributes to the demand charge. And one way to minimize the demand where it makes any sense at all would be to improve the power factor of the load. Because the power factor is going to give you an indication as to how much reactive power is contributing to the total demand at
Yes.
that point. So I just put that out there as like, oh yeah, not something to forget, but something to take into account. And perhaps there's an economic benefit to improving power factor because that'll reduce the demand charge in theory by adding some reactive capacitance into the inductive looking load.
So here's what was said to us. Take a look. These are the 7. I guess we only have 7 that have demand charges associated with them. And all I saw were load factors. I didn't see any.
Okay, so
Well, the
here's the
load
demand.
factor is captured in the charge.
In the
load- in
charge.
the demand charge.
That's okay. So you think that's where the K bar?
Well,
Like
it-
this
it-
is
it-
what if you're close
the-
to
If the power factor is not
One,
unity, that
then
can be a contributor to the
0.99 or
demand. So one way to
0.95.
reduce this in those
It's not a big
instances is
deal.
where
That's where it is. There may be a
Power
little
That's
bit of
where
saving, but
they
is
got the really
it
big
worth
stuff.
the investment?
Yeah. No, I see the big one is just
Okay.
peak, off peak and partial peak.
to-
That does make a difference. Taking into account, you may have dynamic pricing now, because I'm seeing that on my Tesla app, and
Yes.
that's new for me.
Yeah.
And then the demand charges. If you could keep it outside of the demand charge, I mean, here is $1,000 for a demand charge.
To,
Yeah.
to Francis's
That's a lot.
point, I just did the math, and it's about a 15.6% increase when you go to peak versus off. That's
50%
the big savings.
15.
15.
15.6.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Yes, I think maximizing our time of use program, improving it, and then possibly changing operations of our boosters so the load factor, bring down the load factor.
and that might be the low hanging fruit rather than a big inductive load that is contributing to demand because of reactive power flow to that.
Yeah, that would probably, might take a little bit more investment for maybe
Yeah, I was gonna say the time of use is the low hanging fruit.
instead.
It's the sites with the demand charges that are really high. So that's
That
an
would be
obvious.
That
one.
would be a good prioritization. If you do,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
this is where do you start?
You gotta go.
One thing I did with the detailed data sheet was just scan that far right column for outliers, either super cheap power, which I don't quite understand. I mean, or power that was costing us more than 50 cents a kilowatt hour. And I came up with 11 that, I mean, some are literally $2.22 a kilowatt hour.
Yeah.
So that's worth looking at.
Mhm.
And so I flagged them, and I don't know, did I send these to you? Maybe I didn't. I meant to send it to Jason,
I don't have it
a
on
revised spreadsheet where I sort of pulled these out.
spreadsheet.
I didn't see
You see,
that,
for
but
instance,
Okay.
here, there's.
Yeah, so for instance, row Zayante, row 54, you're showing a kilowatt hour cost of $2.22. And it's not an insignificant bill. It's over $2,200 or no, sorry, $2,000. So it's like, oh, that's worth looking at for, so why is it running literally 5 times the per kilowatt charge? So there's either demand or a reactive power factor cost there or something.
That's one of the ones that is the load factor.
yeah, I think we're talking about our Olympia wells. Is this 7710 East Saying?
Yes.
Yeah, so those are our Olympia wells.
Ah,
Those are our deepest wells that are going to use the most power to pump
so
up.
they're,
Especially in the wintertime, we're not running them as often, so.
yeah.
We don't run them. Yeah, during the winter,
So that's maybe just all demand charge then.
I think so.
Okay.
So those would be ones we'd look at to maybe downsizing the boosters because we have the storage in the tanks to allow a slower fill than we got to fill it.
Now that's also on your demand charge, and the demand charge accounts for 35% of the total cost. So you're both, I'm sorry, the power factor.
What's the installed horsepower?
Well, not the power factor, no. The
Well,
demand charge.
Demand charge, oh,
is
because
load-
of the off,
Yeah.
the offset, right?
The load factor is the demand charge.
It'd be interesting to know the horsepower rating of those motors and to do a power factor survey, because
Survey,
that could be contributing to that overall demand as a poor power factor if the motors are really big.
Yeah.
And they're just straight up induction motors, presumably.
Probably.
And I think the other thing is, even when we're not using the wells, we try and fire them up, monthly?
Yeah, every 3 weeks we do run them for about just a half hour to keep them fresh. And
Off peak
sure.
times.
yeah, no, during work hours.
4
And
p.m.
that's what I
4 p.m.
noticed. I saw one up on Fairview, talked to him for a bit. And it was, 4 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that. It was running the generator. But that was that was not connected to the grid.
Ah.
So that was okay.
So your optimized exercise times would be deeply off peak.
It's during work hours, but yeah, I mean, it's
If you're
during
running
work
on-
hours.
Yeah, if you're running on backup
It's
power.
manual?
Yeah. If you're
Is it
running on,
manual exercise, or is there a timer and a clock control?
It is manual. It is
It is
manual
manual?
because they're not reading a tank level. It's just so.
but they're running off of backup power like a Generac. They're not running off of PG&E.
Oh,
So
we
they
are.
wouldn't
When
be
we
charged for it.
No, when we exercise the wells, we are
Oh,
running
okay.
PG. Yeah, but
And that's every 4 weeks?
I would say we do it in the morning, so it's
Should be
it's off
safe.
peak.
Yeah,
It's
it should be
between
safe.
it's with probably around 8 to 11 p.m. or 11 a.m.
Okay.
We are off peak. We're not exercising
So
at 2:30, 3 p.m. when the guy that's,
So I assume that's like part of a walk around, just to do a site inspection and make sure that locks are intact and there's not rats making a nest in a
that's
controller.
part of the reason, and it's just the health of the well.
Yeah.
What I found when I first came on board is we let these wells sit for 3-4 months. We go try to fire them up after that, and of course we would have issues. We created a program where we would run it more often, and I feel like we've had better success. Our wells have been acting a little better.
My garbage disposal acts the same way at home when we're gone for 3 weeks.
Yeah, you want to? I'd run every once in a while.
Locked up.
So what do you think are the next steps that you've talked generally,
Yeah.
they improve the SCADA,
I think it's meeting with this WISE program
okay?
is one step. I think going site to site and maximizing the time of use, our current time of use program the best we can,
Mhm.
while also building a plan for a new, improved time of use program.
You can have it now.
It would be interesting to see a Pareto chart that creates bins of what's the most expensive site in terms of energy utilization to the least, and perhaps look at the first 5 most expensive or highest cost sites to run.
Well, we
And
have a list here for the top 10 cost sites, and
Yeah.
they're going to be our treatment plants and our wells mostly, and then with a few larger.
And then, come up with a strategy, and then here it says, okay, here's what we're going to do, and charge after optimization.
I think
Those 5 sites. Or 10
look at
sites.
our Oli wells on Diane that we were talking about. Would be our first moves. Graham Hill Road. I mean, yeah, the Paso wells are another one where we have a new relatively new tank there at Probation. So, in the past, there was a tiny little redwood tank, and those wells you couldn't
Cycle
sail
flat.
around. But now,
Oh.
they still run multiple times a day, and
That tank fills from those wells.
yes, so we could theoretically upgrade that as well.
And we don't have, do we know when they're coming on? Like when a float says, I need water, is that being recorded?
Yeah, we have it all trend on SCADA.
Oh,
We got
okay.
it based on tank levels.
All right. So I guess what I was getting at was, if it looks like we're going to have to turn it on during a time of use period,
Mhm.
is there a way to say, okay, in that case, let's turn it on an hour early and try to use non-peak power to do that,
Yeah, that
right?
would take for areas where we don't have the time of use program built in. It would take it's
Okay.
a possibility, but it would take a lot of
Yeah,
just manual operating, system operating. It was, we
you could do it, but obviously we really want to be able to do it
streamline it.
streamlined,
And
automatic, right?
Automated.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you think the WISE program can give you hints on that?
Yeah.
Or provide you, I don't see anything specific about it.
Well, they really hit on pump overhaul and right sizing and pump sequencing and VFDs.
Right sizing, yeah.
That's kind of helped us out with our load factor.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the time of use program and working with our provider PG&E, that's still to be answered. And I'm kind of curious how much they're going to help us with that,
Yeah,
because they seem more geared towards the right type of pump. But
yeah,
I don't know
they're
enough to say
protected,
that.
they're self-protective,
Yeah, I don't know enough to say they don't. They're not help us out with that.
but they do have programs. I think I put them in my write-up on it.
The best part about it is it's no cost. So
Mhm.
Bill, did you have any things you wanted to ask?
Very informative.
Okay.
That's the WISE program.
Derek,
Yeah.
are you familiar with this product? This is a very economical and considered. I can send you over.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Is it? Oh, the cell? No. Mhm.
Automation control, because it has time of use and a whole variety of things to take all this kind of work into consideration. Turning it on when you want it.
can you tie it into our RTUs, or is it RTU?
It's
An IED.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Modbus.
Yeah,
So it can tie it
all
into
Typical.
based on.
protocol.
Cell has a lot of products like this.
Sorry, full disclosure, I was employee number 432 at SEL.
I've worked with them a lot.
Couldn't resist.
And see how long it takes to
And then see how long it takes, and then they'll say.
I'm sorry.
based on what we've
No, I was
done,
going to mention, suggest we keep going through Francis's questions,
we're
or
covered
keep
in that time.
firing.
No, that's great. And I just wondered,
state within.
both Mark and I had submitted some questions too. Did you
Yeah,
see? Oh, you did? Okay, wow, okay.
Well, we
So,
can go through them.
no,
we're gonna have
let's
to-
stick with, well, Francis has got a really thorough list. So let's go through hers and we might get the others answered.
And I think some of your questions kind of hit on some
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
So,
great.
Well,
I mean, I'm all the way down to
so.
how accurate
You're
a
limiting your flow.
three
100%.
G,
And that's it.
unless I
I
missed
one
it.
thing to talk to Jesse
Yeah,
about.
kinda-
You know, what does it cost to do that? And then, don't want
So
to-
yeah, I mean, our treatment plants, our wells are the highest use. So I mean, how accurate is our SCADA? It's
I'll think it's
pretty accurate, within a quarter of a foot, within a few GPM. So there's no issues there. And then upgrades upcoming. We do have in the CIP budget upgrades to our Quail SCADA system and our Brookdale SCADA system. That being said, like I mentioned, we're looking at the bigger picture of all our SCADA. So I don't want to go drop $100,000
No.
into this and then get a new one in 2 years.
Because they are so outrageously expensive.
Yeah, so I want to make
Just-
sure.
Got to be better ways of doing it.
what the SCADA
The
system.
SCADA, yeah.
We're looking. I mean, obviously, I've come from an Allen Bradley system, and I know they're expensive. But we have looked into alternatives. So we've met with one provider, and they're working on a solution. So we'll see what the total cost will be.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
SCADA require PG&E power?
I'm sorry, what?
SCADA, it does. Requires PG&E power.
Yes.
It's not battery power.
No.
Requires PG&E power, requires Comcast internet, requires a couple different things.
There
Do
might be
they, but
some,
they also have cell connections?
Well, where you have cell service.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I have an old friend who works for. So looking at a mesh network that would combine cellular, satellite, and all that good stuff. Try to get to our more remote sites. See what
Yeah.
we can do.
Okay, good.
so one thought just bringing up cell is that some of the RTUs for the bigger plants could be replaced by basically something like the cell product, which would do all of the optimization for the plant and then connect to the RTU just to send relevant data back to the SCADA.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, that's Scott. I don't know if we have like I mentioned, we have VFDs and whatnot. I'm not sure if we have any type of instrument that.
Manages a VFD.
Yeah. So something to look at. What is that called again?
Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories.
SEL.
With the instrument itself.
Yeah, that's based on the instrument itself is a 2411P as in pump. What's your phone number? I'll just text it to you. 831
831
818
783.
38.
So how much?
This is not a brand new product. It's been around probably 6+ years.
So that skater ready right there for some.
So they have something called an RTAC, which is sort of an RTU plus local capabilities. So starting at $1,000. So if you look up cell,
Yeah, thank you.
That's
show you that.
yeah. No,
Cell Inc.
What's the name of that company?
And the RTAC, real time.
Oh, okay, Cell. Okay.
They're
Oh,
located-
Schweitzer.
Yeah, they're in Pullman, Washington. That's the
Ah,
headquarters.
Okay.
7,000 or 8,000 employees.
Wow,
It
yeah,
became
Schweitzer.
a very, very big company.
very good.
Next questions I see are related to solar and plug-in. I mean, we got into that a little bit. I think the bottom line is we would need an analysis of each site. I feel like a lot of our sites are probably just not a big enough footprint, but if like you mentioned, if we had a battery storage that kept us from going over the edge, it might be worth it. That's where we
Yeah.
would now.
Starting with the big guys and then working way down.
Looking at time of use again. Discuss that. Where this be most cost effective, the wells and treatment plants.
So I think battery storage, which has become increasingly less expensive,
Yeah,
I
no.
won't say inexpensive, could very well be strategically placed to avoid some of the load charges or demand charges and the shifting to
Peak.
from off of peak to
Absolutely.
off of peak to off peak.
Dive into our generators. You asked, what are the maintenance procedures of backup generators? So district staff does a monthly generator reads. They run it. They take measurements.
You put load on this generators when they
Yeah,
have a
Yeah.
load
the,
bank.
the
of some
best
sort.
we can. We don't have a load bank, so
Right.
that's something we do want to look at purchasing.
Because they really should be under loads.
So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I try, we're looking at a load bank. I wanted to fit that in with the meter shop generator. I decided not to, so I need to maybe go back to looking at purchasing a load
Because we've
bank.
sometimes rented them, but if we use them a lot every month, then it probably is justified to just buy it.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. So are they started up with a minimal load? So this is good discussion. So the generator is equipped with the ATS, exercised automatically, of course, the automatic transfer switches. The other ones run automatically when we do the monthly. We run them in hand.
They're propane fuel.
Most of them are
Diesel.
propane. We do have a couple diesel left, I believe, but most of them are propane. Our old electrician would actually bring a heater with him, just a little space heater, and that's how that was his load. That was his load.
About a kilowatt.
We still do that here and there, but I've got a lot of requests for a real
load.
load man.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean that's only a 1 or 2 horse motor, right? So it's better than nothing. But if you have a 100 horse motor, you're going to need something a little beefier. Yeah.
Could some of the used be exported to PG&E circuits under emergency situations? No, we cannot export circuits during emergency situations. They don't. The PG&E doesn't have that available to us.
By circuit, I don't understand the question. What's the
Well, basically, if you have solar, you can always export.
Right.
But batteries, you usually can't, not allowed to. But during emergency situations, you can export if, say, Palos ISO has a heat wave or something like that.
okay?
And they're more and more doing it localized so that if you have a constraint, a power system constraint in an area because not enough power is coming
Right.
in,
Power, yeah,
they'll allow you to export from that area.
got it.
But it is mostly related to having your own generators that can do it.
Yeah.
And storage if you have it.
Should we move on to
Okay, yeah.
your question?
Whatever order you like.
I think the only last one is a 5-10
Oh,
year
so-
plan, just
Yeah.
as a,
I think the 5-year plan would be upgrading our RTUs, which would include upgrading our TOU,
oh, okay.
and that. Once we figure out what we're doing with RTUs, then we can improve our time of use or get new ones.
Okay, so now by the RTUs, you're talking about just collecting data or sending controls from the SCADA system?
Yeah, the RTU itself will hold time of use program.
Okay, so you would do something like this RTAC.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was wondering, is it an RTU? I could.
Yeah, it acts, it can act as an RTU.
Yeah.
So I guess regarding the 5-year plan, I guess the precursor to that is really an analysis of what we have out there. What would be some of the economic trade-offs? Are there alternatives for our,
Yeah.
other SCADA
So I
systems?
think that's kind of the challenge right now is who's going to do that analysis? Is the staff one, do we have the time and or the knowledge and ability? Do we
Right.
look at an outside firm to come in? Maybe Wise can direct us in the right direction.
That's true. Yeah.
And so that would be 5. And I think 10-year plans, kind of ties in with the 5-year plan. I also want to upgrade our current solar sites and these get them more up to date. I'd say they're out to date for solar as far as solar goes. So we're currently doing that with our Kirby treatment plant. We're having a contractor look at it. So hopefully Sandbar. So hopefully that works. Or they come back with some, get a whole new plan. Hopefully we can work on what we have, add something. So
We're gonna add the net energy metering into the spreadsheet as well, so that we can see what the solar fields are producing according to this.
Are we, are we all, well, are we NEM 2 or would, obviously new systems would be on NEM 3,
Yeah,
which is
I'm assuming
terrible.
based on the years that they were put in, they're probably temp to.
If they're, yeah, if they were before April 2024, then they're NEM 2.
They're definitely.
They're all before that. Okay, that's good.
I
Because you actually get,
Maybe 2004 to be.
okay.
You know,
Yeah.
we're probably about 20 years old. Yes,
Okay.
all of our solar sites.
Although there is a sunset clause on those, and I want to say it's 25 years. So
Okay.
once that sunset happens, we then fall into the newer, whatever the newer NEM.
Do you know if that
Yes.
happens automatically or?
I think it does.
Okay.
Yeah,
interesting.
I
I'm
could do a
almost
little
positive
research.
it does.
I'm sorry.
I'm almost positive it does, because I remember that being in our contract with the solar company down there.
Because right now the NEM 2, it's a great, I mean, it actually does pay for itself. It's a great way of getting some money
Well,
for excess power.
you get thrown off of it once you hit those 20 years.
Yeah.
It happened to me
Oh,
just
did it?
last month.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Wow. So you were one of the
I've
early
had my
adopters.
Solar system for over 20 years.
Wow. Okay. Very good.
I don't sweat.
I'd also like to add as a long-term strategy, we're upsizing some of our tanks right now. One of the top 10 sites by total costs is 8855 Highway 9 with the April total cost of $695.09. Currently, that's pumping to our swim tanks. These are two, 10,000 gallon? Okay. Two 10,000 gallon tanks. So we actually put a recorder on the pump station to see the trend, and the pump is running all day to keep those two 10,000 gallon tanks full. As people are taking showers or washing dishes, it's not a lot of storage.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so the new Redwood Park tank is going to be 120,000 gallons. And so that will also allow us, we can fill it up during an off-peak time and then use the water during the day when it's peak time and then fill it up again on the off-peak.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, actually, that's a part of our financial analysis when we put in a much bigger tank should be from an operating point of view,
Yeah.
how to optimize the operations, right?
Mhm.
Because we wouldn't need a really big pump. We would size it for, I don't know, 50% load factor or something like that, so that it's on a lot, but avoid the peak time, and just keep the load factor as optimal as possible, I guess.
It's the same kind of idea with the Highland tank. We went to the Fairview booster where they were exercising the generator.
Yeah.
Same thing. We went from I believe it was a 60,000 gallon wooden tank. We're putting in a 120,000 gallon tank, doubling the storage. So there again, hopefully that water could last during the peak times and get filled up during off-peak times. This there's another entry in the top 10 sites for Fall Creek Drive. That is the diversion out of Fall Creek that feeds the Kirby plant. So currently, we have an emergency permit, which allows us to get water from Felton, and we can use that surface water in the North System or even in Scotts Valley if we need to. But ideally, we would restore the Peavine raw water pipeline, which is a gravity line. We would make the water here in Boulder Creek at a higher elevation, and we could gravity feed to Felton rather than getting surface water from Felton and pumping it up to Boulder Creek or wherever it needs to go. So that would be another strategy. We need to maximize surface water in Boulder Creek.
Yeah, Gary makes some good points. It's not, looking at the 5-10 year plan, it's not just, pumps and SCADA, whatnot. It's improving our storage, helps a lot, like you mentioned. And then, yeah, the cheap surface water is cheaper than groundwater, but we even have cheaper surface water from Lyon and Kirby, just as Gary mentioned. So,
Right.
Getting our intakes back is going to help overall.
What's the update on Peavine?
Peavine.
Oh, you're touching the third rail there, buddy.
Environmental.
Are you sure you're up for it?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Environmental clearance has been granted, so we are good to go on that front. We can start dropping trees at the helicopter drop locations. We still need to purchase the pipe, make an agreement with Crest Ranch, and make an agreement with the helicopter company. My understanding from the committee was we were gonna take that to the board level to do that authorization. So that would be the next step.
So the schedule is open at this point.
Yeah, right now, with the staff that we have, we're focusing on the construction projects that we have active right now, so the 3 tanks. And then we have the Lion Slide project as a priority before we do Peavine. So once I can get those plans out to bid, then my next thing would be to get Peavine out to bid, per se, or just find material and execute contracts.
All right.
We'll jump into some of Mark's questions.
Okay.
The first one was, what would a formal rate optimization analysis entail? That's a great first question. Who would do that? What is the cost range and how long would that take to perform? I think we hit on it a little bit. That's not sure if we have the ability in-house to do that. It seems like our provider PG&E should help us out a little bit with the rate optimization. I'm hoping the WISE helps us out with it, and then if we have to hire an outside agency to come in and do analysis, it makes
And
sense.
if nothing else, if Wise can't do it, hopefully they've had enough experience to lead us in the right direction and go to these people,
Go to
they
these
know how to
people,
do
yeah.
it.
That would be great.
Another one is you indicated that the pumping and treatment facilities are the largest users of electricity. Do we utilize time of use considerations in particular of pumping tank refilling? So as far as the Kirby treatment plant in Fall Creek, it runs pretty much nonstop. So there's not a lot, but what we can optimize is possibly our high service pumps that pump into the system into our McLeod tank. That would be pretty much a time of use. That would be another time of use program where McLeod does not have that. So there are pretty large pumps, large tanks. So it's on the top. It's one of the top users.
Okay.
So that would be something we could look at. Lion plant. The intake itself is gravity fed, so we don't worry about that. But our big steel boosters, when we don't have enough surface water to fill Lion, we have to pump up to Lion with our big steel boosters. That is another one that I want to say does have a time of use program. It does have, but probably improved. So. He mentioned the power factor study at Bear Creek and basically how much that was saving us. It wasn't really to save money. It was just to make sure the generator. I reached out to the contractor, put it in. He said there was probably some cost savings, but very minimal.
Yeah.
It's more to.
Really just to have it be running optimally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not be straining.
We could do analysis on that. I'm pretty confident though the time and energy would, wouldn't be worth it. The memo mentions the following aspects that would need further study to determine the potential cost savings or system improvements. Formal rate optimization analysis, yes. Update SCADA system to current PG&E rates. That's hitting on the time of use. Solar and battery systems, as Francis mentioned. I think more battery storage. Would probably with those please plug-in generators where possible. Load shifting, we hit on that about decreasing the size of our pumps, longer duration, and then the power factor correction. We hit on that. So you mentioned low hanging fruit. I think that's going to be just like we talked about the time of use. I have our water quality manager, kind of system operations manager. His staff is in charge of adjusting the set points and whatnot. He's looking to what's the set points for when the boosters turn off and on. He's looking at what sites can we make operational improvements in there. And then Director Russ had a few questions as well.
We've covered a lot of them.
Yeah, we have. Let's make sure we don't miss any.
Actually, I did want to clarify. I say 250 meters here, but really it's 65 meters, and you gave us 4 months worth of data, right?
Yeah, I saw
okay.
the 250. I was like, do we have?
Wait, where's all those missing meters?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we have 250, or excuse me, 65-ish.
Yes.
Okay.
Give or take.
And
I thought maybe every RTU had its own separate meter.
I think the bill I looked at generated 67 different.
67. Okay. Okay. And what I wanted to just clarify was I had heard previously that our PG&E bill was around 500,000, but the average of these 4 months is only 350,000 a year.
I think that
These are winter months.
I'll let Jason take the floor.
Okay.
Take the
Yeah, go
floor.
for it.
Well, I mean, I put it together. So these are the winter months, so
Okay.
that they're not going to give you the full scope of, because summer's going to be the big
I see.
production.
We're just moving more water and
Late summer before it starts raining in fall.
Yeah.
That's when the wells might come into play when surface water drops off. I mean, when do we shut that line?
Yeah, it's September, October. So
At
yeah,
that
surface
point,
water is cheaper. We
half
have
of
more
the
surface
wells.
water at the end of winter, beginning of spring. Those are the months you're looking at.
we're just
Now-
using wells a lot more.
If we had
Okay.
5 Mile and Peavine, that would give us a longer stretch into late summer, fall.
Gotcha. Using surface.
Keep line going.
Yeah, very good.
Before CCU,
Very good.
I had about 10 years at the plant, and we never once turned off line because with that little bit extra for Piedmont was allowed us to keep it. When you get down to about 100 gallons a minute income, all of your instruments start having issues. So that's about where we turn it off. So
Because it's so the resolution's so low, it's just not able to really sense
yeah,
accurately.
yes, exactly. And
Okay.
so you look at that, you're actually losing an additional 100 GPM, so that extra 80 from Peavine is going to give you an additional 180 if you kind of follow
Okay.
a little bit. So
Very good.
I
No,
understand that.
very good. Okay. Yeah, appreciate that. I appreciate the clarification. Okay. Is there such a thing as they just bill us by meter? It's not like we can't accumulate them and I don't know if there's any advantage to that.
We're going to ask. We're
Okay.
gonna ask.
Yeah.
We've been in contact with PG&E. They're actually the ones that led me in the statewide WISE program.
Okay.
I had them. I wanted to look at a particular site where Jason actually had the first conversation with them, and this one jumped out of them. There could be some potential cost savings there. There's a little bit of delay on communication. She got back to us, and the last update was they're having some IT issues, and
Yeah. Okay.
I'm saying we bug her multiple times a week.
All right.
So
No, that's
we'll
great. I
stay
just asked the question and
Yeah.
who knows? They
I'm
might
calling
have
and
some,
emailing at least once a week.
Yeah.
But
because I know that meters are combined and I don't know if that gives them a better rate structure or not, but it might.
Yeah.
It might.
Well, what it might do is be able to avoid some load charges, demand charges, because if you combine them,
That's
one
right.
that has a low demand.
And you
might
good point.
help.
blends it in. Yeah.
Right. Blends it in. Yeah. So yes,
Yeah.
stochastically, it looks more level.
I definitely think there's room for improvement for our whole optimizing our PG&E. It's just, analyzing that and figuring that out.
Right.
First people we go to is PG&E.
Right.
They should help us with it. So far, it hasn't been very successful, but it's been kind of in the beginning work. So
Okay.
I'm hoping this kind of seems like, oh yeah, you want help here, go to these people. So I'm hoping that's what it's going to be.
And they just consider us a straight business. We're being a water district or a no special treatment.
I don't think so. If
Okay.
you catch anything, I don't think it matters.
No, they didn't offer PG&E. No, when we were on Edison, we got ag rates for being, a water
Oh, for
district.
being, I see. Yeah, because those are big. Those are huge, cheap. Yeah. Okay.
I don't think we're gonna get the ag rate here.
Great. Okay, yeah. Just continue through the list.
Yeah, no, so I reached out, the next one is perhaps, we can reach out to some nearby water districts, discuss their usage. I reached out to Scotts Valley. They're about our size. I have a good relationship with the guys that work there.
Yeah.
They don't have any solar.
Well, ask them if, do they do batteries or can they consolidate meters? I mean, just all the things we're talking about.
Yeah,
Do they have a way of optimizing their rates,
they have a time of use program They have it. That's basically, I think, the best what they use to optimize.
They probably don't have 67 meters.
No, although the connection,
Yeah.
population may be similar, our amount of pressure zones and whatnot is much higher. So we have a lot more PG&E meters. I haven't spoken to City of Santa Cruz or Soquel Creek, so that'll be on my list to discuss what they're doing.
Okay.
I'm guessing Santa Cruz probably has a little bit more beefier solar infrastructure and whatnot. Stuff.
I think we talked about the power factor
Yeah.
stuff. That's really the demand charge. We talked about the Bear Creek meter shop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The in demand tab and for the 7 sites are built. Can you provide more information how the load factor is derived? Do we
Yeah.
agree with PG&E's
Because they're
calculations?
showing us the cost, but it would be, how does that cost derive? Because ultimately, for us to come up with an algorithm to optimize it, we need to know.
I think that's PG&E's strategy is to make the bill very complicated.
Oh yeah.
So you just kind of give up. So we're not gonna do that. We're gonna get experts in there, but
Okay.
I don't know the answer to that. That's a good question.
I mean, maybe. I mean, just like choose one of these and maybe send it to the committee members. Just give us the actual detailed bill for a few months.
Yeah.
And let us take a look. Who
The
knows?
bill itself.
Yeah, the bill itself.
Yeah.
Because the information should be there somewhere.
I think so. I think so. They put it.
It may be, hidden under 7 layers of whatever, but
Jason, did we have like 12 months of bills that we could share with the committee?
Yeah, but I can only run so many through my algorithm at a time to put them in the spreadsheet, so.
Bob was saying you just send the committee the bill, right?
well, just pick a bill or two. I'm just really curious to
Well,
see
we
what
don't-
it
we
looks
don't-
like.
We don't get a bill or two, I got a PDF with a whole month of bills.
Oh, they give you all 67
Yeah.
bills?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So if
I
that's what
see.
you want, that's what you'll get.
Well, I would, yeah, sure. If that's,
Okay.
because I don't want you guys to spend a lot of extra effort to get it.
I've already built the algorithm to upload them in, I just gotta.
Oh,
feed 'em.
okay.
It just takes a while to do it.
So I would look at a month's worth of 67 bills and just go to these, the sites you've listed here for the 7 demand sites.
Okay.
And just see how do they breaking out the cost?
Okay.
Yeah. Because I'm assuming that the 67 bills that are all in one giant PDF, that there's 67 charges, right?
By meter,
By meter.
1 per meter.
1 per meter, yeah. Okay. So, all right, that's great. Yeah, so you've already put a lot of work into this. Haven't you? Okay. My last point, Jesse, I also noticed in addition to these sites that were really expensive, and it sounds like that's just the demand charge component. But there were also sites, 5 of them, that were under 30 cents a kilowatt hour. And I was kind of shocked. How are they so inexpensive? What's going on those meters that is so inexpensive? Let me just pick one.
Highlight.
Maybe it's just running SCADA.
Yeah, we definitely have a few sites where it's basically just running a computer.
Well, I only looked at sites over 150 a month. So for instance, Fall Creek. Oh, this is bizarre.
You maybe Fall Creek can be deceiving because there's times where the intake's buried for a good month or two and we don't run Fall Creek. And the next thing you know, it shoots up. It's because we dug it out and we were able to optimize it.
Okay, okay, because it's $1,700 that month, but it was only 25 cents a kilowatt hour, and I thought, well, that's
like January, then to April. The January and February they're buried. We got in there end of April, March,
okay.
and now they're being back in service. I think that's
Yeah, that was January. Let me just see some others. Yeah, maybe they're all just like that. Another one is Zayante. Same thing, 29 cents a kilowatt hour.
Yeah, that one is strange because the use there is pretty consistent. That's the Lompico booster.
Yeah, and it's $1,600 a month, so it's not trivial. It's worth looking at, right?
Absolutely not. And I think that's one where optimizing what type of pump we have in there is going to help. When that was originally installed, it was a temporary pump site with.
I know how that goes. Yeah.
And since then, the main has been upsized. So I'm wondering, it's a good possibility that.
Yeah, Fall Creek shows is apparently 2 or 3 of those 5 data points. So maybe it's the same because Fall Creek and 33 cents a kilowatt hour in March, which maybe it's still not summertime or something. I don't know.
That's right. That's usually about when we get into.
Okay.
Yeah, because what happens is we get the heavy rains that pushes debris down the creek,
And just
and then the intakes get covered with
just stuff,
rocks,
We,
twigs,
we have to wait for the level of the creek to drop.
drop.
to safely
So you
get
can
in
get
there.
in there.
Shovel it out.
I see.
Yeah, well, there's also seems to be a discrepancy between adding in the demand charge and just dividing by the kilowatt hours. Because if you take a look at Fall Creek, it has in January, it has a demand charge. And yet it's still running at 0.25 cents.
Yeah, you're right. That's
It's
a little
somewhere
weird.
the math is
Something's
not
going
good.
on. Yeah. So I was just, that might be just something to take a look at as the outliers, either really expensive or really cheap, and find out what's driving it. Is demand charge makes sense for the expensive, but the really cheap is just kind of weird. That because it still indicates that it's unless there's a fixed charge, which maybe is the primary component of that, and we hardly used it, then that would show as a very cheap per kilowatt hour charge, even though that's not.
Yeah.
Well, no, that should be the other way around.
I think
actually.
these the cost per kilowatt hour is not completely accurate.
Okay. Well, and that would be at least for me, the advantage of just seeing a real bill and just
Mhm.
seeing, okay,
If the real bill contains everything.
yeah, if it has everything, right, okay. All right. Well, it's a lot of information. Thank you all very much. Any other follow-on questions, Francis, or?
Not at the moment. I think my main
Okay, good.
concern, not concern, but my main interest is in what steps need to be taken tomorrow, next month, next 6 months, next
Right.
year.
So it's
Because
short
I
term,
think, yeah,
medium term.
because it's,
Yeah.
it's easy to sort of get lost in the fact that there's so many things, and even WISE really is useful, but can't necessarily help you make the decisions.
Yeah. I think
So,
short term is just looking at these high cost sites and
Mhm.
seeing if we can change our time of use pump. That's simple.
okay,
Yeah, because
make
if
an
you can get
adjustment.
5 sites and eliminate 1,000 a month, that's huge.
And then
60,000 a year, right?
Finding that balance between it being automated and not having staff sign in the computer in the middle of 11 o'clock, getting out there.
no, you don't
And
want that.
but it could be as simple as just changing some set points and scaling.
Yeah, change the if you have scheduling.
Yeah,
Change the
that's what it,
schedule.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's you could call it scheduling, but it's really it would be changing the tank level start points and stop points. So
Okay,
and while utilizing our time of use program, so making sure that the start point during on peak is a lot lower than the start time during off peak. So if you're off peak and it gets this low, it's going to pump back up. So maybe when you go back to on peak, it drops, and that's what our current time of use program is.
it's kind of a bass backwards way of doing it, but it works.
Well, like I mentioned, there's room for improvement on our time of use
Yeah.
program, which is going to
All right.
which we need a program for. But we utilize what we have for now.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and which we do to a certain extent, but there may be even more improvement.
Okay,
So perhaps what's being suggested is maybe at a future engineering committee meeting, just come back with what you found in your analysis and what would be sort of a short term.
Yeah.
What do you want to do short term, and then longer term, of course, is a whole nother
I
deal.
think reporting back on a few of these sites I'm mentioning and what changes we made, and then updating on the sandbar analysis of our solar at Kirby would be a good one to update you guys on. And then
Jesse, I'm still curious about whether or not a poor power factor is contributing to demand charges at some of the larger sites.
yeah, okay.
So if you're running motors at a 0.7 or a lot of motors, or
Yeah.
big motors at a 0.7 power factor, then just know that the reactive power demand of those motors is contributing to the demand charge,
Mhm.
demand related to KVA.
And-
So that's my
Yeah.
curiosity
And-
is like, it's not necessarily all time of use. It might be,
Yeah.
but let's look under the rock of,
And that's
Maybe
not
I'll-
an inexpensive meter to actually measure your power factor. I mean, that's something, and I don't know if we have that or not.
We
but-
don't have that, but we could purchase. I think that's is fixing it. Would be the getting. Am I correct?
Well,
It would be
but knowing it
capacitors.
first, I think that's what Greg is
well,
suggesting.
that's a corrective action later
Yes.
on. That's the solution.
But I guess
is
that's
to
my question: is what would the corrective actions be? Would it be,
add K-bar.
Yeah,
Capacitive K-bar.
capacitors? So adding capacitor, maybe the Olympia. Well, that's the one I'm saying that has the large power
But,
factor.
but as I recall, these aren't expensive instruments. I mean, I want to say just not even a few $100.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
so
you probably should be able to rent or borrow something that for a month can monitor what the pump
Yeah.
is doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think. You know what those meters are called? Power factor meters.
Well,
Well,
They're
meters
probably got
that
more
measure power
technical
factor.
name.
Yeah.
a meter that's capable of illustrating that data based upon a clamp-on CT and some
Yeah.
connections to your voltage bus.
That's definitely a short to mid-term, term thing.
Yeah. because that shouldn't be expensive. And then you would at least know that, especially for some of our bigger loads. Oh wow, we are at a 70% power factor, and that that's going to add a lot.
I don't know if your RTU is capable of
I don't believe
teasing
so.
out
No,
power factor or not.
no, they're not. But yeah, I mean, I think a poor power factor, these really small sites probably doesn't have much cost significance. But as you mentioned,
It's
these
the
larger
big
sites,
guy.
The bigger ones.
it may. So it might be worth looking.
'Cause I remember being told a few meetings ago that we had some multi-hundred horsepower pumps, right? I mean, monsters. Are they that big, or maybe 100 horse?
50. I think
Yeah,
50 is about our biggest.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
So
that was
50
Jason's old water district.
Oh, maybe.
The 150s.
Yeah, he.
Oh, okay.
100.
He likes the really big
So
stuff.
our wells we're deep, but they're not very deep, relatively deep to other wells.
Right.
I want to say neighboring districts, but statewide districts or even national.
Right.
districts.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
Our
Fair.
deepest one.
So maybe 50 horse.
Yes.
All right. So yeah. So what is that? 30 kVA, 30 kilowatts, something like that.
But those are all 480, so I don't think you're gonna power with solar.
No, that's right. I don't expect any of these to be powered by solar,
But if we could
nor
add,
batteries, to tell you the truth.
we could add some capacitors, and it would make sense. If the investment would make sense, cost savings.
They'll pay for themselves very quickly. Yeah.
Doing
Bill,
that
I know-
analysis, I guess, is kind of the hang up.
Well, knowing first,
Yeah, no,
Know
and then
first,
bringing someone in.
and then the analysis of how to correct it. Right. And Bill, I know you had some thoughts.
Just one off the wall question. You have solar, you have batteries, you have generators. Have you considered hydroelectric? I mean, you got water for those areas that don't have enough sun to give you solar. I mean, if there are places like that around the system,
We looked at it for the Peavine Raw Water.
that, because that,
Because it does drop a couple 100 feet.
Yeah, we're about 160 psi coming down the mountain, and going into the line treatment plant, we want to be 20 psi.
so you could sort of,
We could harness that
You
energy.
can put a little turbine there.
Yeah, we could.
So historically, the intake was in an area where PG&E had there's no PG&E infrastructure. So we actually did have a small hydro system on our Peavine before CZU.
Really?
All it really did was power used to power the SCADA there
We'll power the skate and charge the batteries.
and the screen washer. Before my time, the SCADA there was lost, but we still took advantage of that hydro to clean the intake stream. So, is it big enough or enough to actually feed back into the PG&E grid?
You
Maybe.
could just
It
do
might.
it for your own internal use.
So, okay, sorry, I missed my point. Is the new we're changing where this? It's not the intake, the break.
We're gonna
The
do
break.
it.
We're changing where the break is. It's going to be right next to the Lion plant. So that may be
This is the pressure.
the pressure break.
This is the inline.
Where we do have PG&E infrastructure
Oh.
and our Lion plant. We're going to do it for ourselves, not PG&E. but our lime plant's right next to it, so there may be some potential, even if it's small, to tie that hydro plant into the lime plant.
We were only making 24 volts before.
That was a small one. Maybe we can.
Well, remind
upsize
me
it.
that Peavine does what, 50 or 100, used to 100 acre feet a year?
What is that, GPM?
Peavine.
How many acre feet a year?
Oh,
Because it was 10% of our capacity, right? We do 1,800 acre feet a year, so
10% of our capacity is about 200 then, right?
yeah, so that would be even more. So I mean, we can do a real quick
10%
analysis.
sounds high to me, just off the top of my head, but
Okay, but even
It's
100
low,
acre
yeah.
feet, that's well, times what, 300,000 gallons, so
325.
25,
3 million.
825 with them. Crazy.
30 million gallons a year, dropping a couple hundred feet or 150 psi. It's a fair amount of.
I think 100's a good guess. I got it over a year at 62 gallons a minute.
Okay,
I think,
Okay.
it kind of ranges from the 60 to 120 gallons a minute, that intake. So
I'll bet that actually works out to be some real money. Well, it's yeah. All right, well, we can
Depends on how much one of those PRVs is.
the hydro.
Yeah.
There,
The one we were running was made by Harris Hydro.
there's,
It's
I
has a
Googled
shroud
some-
with an alternator in it, with an inlet. And it starts humming. It's got a little wheel in there. And
How
it
big
whistles.
Our
Well, I don't
electrician
know,
did not like it.
varies
He had a
from
lot of issues with it.
20
I'm not saying all the hydroelectric old on it.
Well, I know there
the amount of.
that there was a strategy with a lot of companies years ago for especially small creeks in the Sierras. People were trying to tap them, and if they had over 100 feet of fall, they could actually make some real money. So
Definitely, yeah.
it's worth taking a look at. And I mean, I can do a quick back of the envelope.
Yeah, that
little
I think
later.
that would be implemented when we actually move forward with putting the Peavine pressure brake.
Yeah.
That would be the time to do it.
Yeah.
Which we're a couple of years out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming.
Okay, that's cool idea.
We can get bills here for $100 and at least try it and see what it generates.
We need a pipeline first, then we can do it.
Okay. Any other thoughts or questions, suggestions?
No, I think there's a lot bubbling up, and I'm sure there will be more.
Yeah,
questions,
it
but
kind of
right
seems
now-
like an opening.
Yeah.
I know you sent your questions a while back, and
Mhm.
it's kind of started, the conversation started, and we
So I have
we got a lot of balls in the air, and this is important, and there's a lot of there's potential for cost savings here, and so I think not to say the ball rolling again, but we're starting to get the ball rolling and
Yeah.
looking into this, and I think this is a good, kind of starting conversation.
Mhm.
Because you got some real experts here, so we got to tap these folks.
Absolutely.
Greg, you had another question?
Yeah, it's an off-topic question, as a matter of fact. And
Okay.
every time I drive down Scotts Valley Drive,
Okay.
I'm impressed. That's one word to describe the amount of multi-unit housing
Yeah.
that is under construction.
Oh,
This is coming about as the state
same.
mandate
Yes.
for incorporated areas and unincorporated areas to increase the amount of available housing units. And I thought to myself, in the sense of the San Lorenzo Valley Water District, the water resources that are available is a finite quantity. And I'm wondering how that aligns with whatever might be on the horizon for mandated future residential construction within the water district, and how much margin is there between available water resources, particularly in drier years, versus estimated demand at some projected future date when there's X number of more residential
No, I mean
units.
we're kind of doing that in real life right now. Gary, why don't you hit on the Scotts Valley project?
Well, I would say that you can review our urban water management plan that we just, I think the board just approved it.
Updating of it, right? Or no, I guess we did approve.
Yeah,
it.
it's a
we
new-
actually approved it. Yeah.
We have to do it is it every 5 years? Yeah, so we just have a brand new one, and I think that had projected population growth till 2045.
Well, I was going to mention though there is a housing project,
Oh
Of
yeah,
course.
Valley Gardens.
Valley Garden. So right now, I don't know where they are in the process, but Valley Garden's going to develop a bunch of houses.
Is that 150? Do you remember the number, Jason? Okay.
Garrett
It was
knows.
in that neighborhood.
No, come
Come
on.
on, Garrett.
I think 150 is good, guys. Let's go to 150.
Okay.
So we're gonna supply them water. There was analysis to
Oh,
to get
Scotts
that
Valley.
looked
Within
at,
our,
and we support that. And
Mhm.
it was determined that we
SLB
can
banner?
support.
Yeah.
that. These are more of apartments. They're not gonna have landscaping and whatnot, a large amount of landscaping, so. We,
What-
right now, we're in a good place,
The-
you know,
the
as
good-
far as our
The
water
good thing
supply.
about that, the good
What
thing
about
about
data
that
centers?
development, the good thing about that development is that the common areas are gonna be fed from the Scotts Valley
Oh,
system, right?
that's true. Yeah, the
Oh, they're-
landscaping, yeah, they have the,
Is that recycled?
The recycled water.
Coming off the water treatment,
good point.
That's perfect. Yeah.
wastewater treatment plant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're only providing the potable water.
Just domestic, yeah.
Yeah, domestic water.
Data centers,
Yeah.
And fire.
Data centers can use a lot of water.
yeah.
So I don't know that, I haven't heard of any being planned for around here.
And that'd be quite an accomplishment if you put a
Our-
data center in Santa Cruz County.
Our
Yeah, we need
power
We need a 5
reliability,
gigawatt data center right here.
no data center wants to be in Santa Cruz County
Yeah, I don't think
because of
so.
power reliability.
Yeah, that's true.
No
Well, just the
bueno.
politics to get over, you know, the
Yeah,
public.
well,
Just the
I'm-
power. they
I'm
need is-
thinking, you know,
Oh, it's
we're
off again.
talking 2045, well,
Oh, yeah.
Possibility.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's, I think that's more,
That's
maybe
gonna
like
happen.
build out like.
One of their data centers uses more power than our whole county.
Yeah.
So, and I do think as right now, when you look at that urban water management plan, they're projecting very modest growth for the county itself, or for the unincorporated areas. I mean, like less than 2% a year.
Oh, okay.
So it is growth, and obviously over 20, 30 years, that's 50%. So-
But Valley Gardens to me is Scotts Valley, but it's not really
No,
because you have
we serve
that
it.
We do
in your
Lockwood.
service territory.
Yeah, it's in
Yeah.
our service area.
We have
Yeah.
Lockwood, and then we have Graham Hill Road to basically to Miami, I
The
guess.
most surprising one would be our Mignana Woods service area, which is right by the Hilton right there. You think that's like the far end of Scotts Valley, but
Sure.
we're able to come over the mountain on Whispering Pines
Yeah.
and feed that system.
Yeah, if you see on the map over there, that little Scotts Valley area on the right, that's the area we serve. But
Ah,
on Lockwood
Okay.
and kind of up over by 17, where 17 meets Mount Herman, that's where the
Mhm.
Hilton is.
You have water supply resources in that general area, or that's a pump to from somewhere else?
We have
to get-
wells. So
Well, okay.
the Graham Hill on the top, the top,
One of our top users of electricity. Yeah.
yeah,
These are our past tempo wells.
Graham Hill Road. So that's the number one for the April 2026 bill at $5,422.99.
And the number 7 is our Intertype 3,
Yeah.
which can actually pump from
Yeah.
our SLV North System to Scotts
So
Valley.
you can project that those numbers are going to go up because we're going to have more housing units.
I would project that
So-
area is gonna have a higher demand compared to a higher demand growth percentage compared to somewhere like Boulder Creek.
So that's where you really want to get everything lined up to manage all the demand and time of use charges
Yes,
that are coming down the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, no, good.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, thank you. Bill, any other creative ideas?
No.
Oh, come on.
I'm all out today.
Okay. All right. Okay, no other thoughts or suggestions? Anybody online?
Nobody online.
Okay, so I don't think there's any just thanks for the information, Jesse and Garrett. Thank you very much. Yep. And then I think we just have just the engineering minutes from boy, it was 2-3 months ago. Wow.
Well, we have a future items for unfinished business.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I jumped.
That's
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
So we have on the schedule, talk about the water loss audit. I think, Director Smalley was very interested in that, and that would be on August 19th.
Okay.
And then, for September, we have the water production cost analysis. And then Greg had brought up that he was interested in the operations situational awareness. Unless there's another topic that the committee would like to discuss in place of these, or if they want it in a different order. That's what the purpose of this item is.
When do you want to bring back the power discussion?
Oh yeah, we could bring back the power discussion in October or September, whatever. whatever we want to talk about.
Well, we could have two topics, right?
Yeah, I was gonna mention, water production costs and operational situation. I mean, you guys could surprise me, but I don't know if it's gonna
Yeah.
take up a full meeting, so
Right.
maybe it'd be worth combining the two or
So
something.
what are you guys comfortable with coming back to the committee with some, obviously not a 5-year detailed plan, but just some, you've done a little bit of analysis, looked at the, the low hanging fruit, so to
Yeah.
speak, and have some thoughts for us to consider.
Timeline wise,
Well, you want a month, you want 2 months?
I think 2 months would be good. I think let the dust settle. A month would probably feel like we'll be, hey, we made this project, but we're still waiting. We're still waiting.
Are you okay with 2 months, Jason?
Months.
All right.
So that would be in September,
September for bringing power back,
bring
and
the
then
power back.
we could take on this other one as well. Then,
Okay.
or you were suggesting the situational awareness and stuff.
Yeah, well, that was before.
In all
Maybe we can.
honesty, water production cost and electricity cost kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, I mean that's
That's it.
absolutely.
We could combine the water production cost analysis into October with operations situational awareness, and then just do the PG&E bring back in September.
I don't know. I think that talking about water production costs and PG&E
At the same time.
same
Yeah,
time makes
combine
sense.
those.
Okay.
I'll say the water production cost analysis is going to be worked up. The progress we made on that is what I've demonstrated in my last quarterly report, basically just illustrating cost per acre foot for groundwater, the cost per acre for surface water. We can dive into a little more details on that. Maybe you guys can provide some questions and some stuff.
And I know, I think this is related. We were also talking about, it's been a few years since we had an outside consultant do a loss analysis of the network, our infrastructure.
Leak detection.
Leak detection. Thank you. Is that considered part of the water loss, or is that a separate item altogether?
Yes, the overall you would include that information, but it's just a one factor of a lot of different factors.
Well, and maybe to consider it, because I know Director Smoley and I was in favor of this as well. I think there's a strong feeling that this could actually be economically justified every year, because if we are losing 10% of our water just through leaks, that's a huge amount of lost revenues. And at our whatever our operating cost, marginal cost is, that's a lot of money too, even if it's half or whatever, So we're losing revenue, potential revenue, and then we're actually paying directly for the cost to pump that water into the ground.
Yeah, I think we could start by doing it every year. I think you'll find that it maybe get to the point like maybe it's every two.
And every two, if we settle out that wouldn't surprise me, but
And if
I
we have
would
a big
definitely-
earthquake, then you do it.
yeah, there you
right
go.
after
Right.
that.
Yeah. It's just, yeah.
Well, you're meeting with the Santa Margarita groundwater tomorrow, right? Maybe we can get a recharge rebate or something. Put the water back down.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay. I like it though.
Perhaps at some point, we could just do a quick review, not today, but when that comes up, as to what are the 5 top leading causes for lost revenue, whether it's an uncalibrated meter or there's galvanic pipe corrosion due to tying the utility grounds back to our water pipes,
Right.
and eating away the metal.
Yeah.
Which I think the American Water Works Association, they measure that in pounds per year of lost metallic pipes, and or seismic disturbances, which we can't predict. But we recently had one that was pretty severe up here, and I can't imagine that hasn't loosened up some joint somewhere that would contribute to.
We didn't
loss
see
of
a
water.
huge uptick in leaks, but there's definitely there was a few leaks following up, and
Yeah.
it's hard to say if it was caused by it, but it's definitely a possibility.
So I'm just, I'm
Yeah.
kind of following along, this idea, well, how often does this kind of a survey need to be
But
done?
it does seem like at a minimum, maybe get some quotes, RFP, and then
Leak detection, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and then let's, you know,
More with leak detection, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think inaccurate meters and leaks, water loss from leaks are the two highest.
good, okay. Any other thoughts, questions? Bill, you good? Okay. All right, so we've got a few future agenda items. That's great. Any questions or edits on the minutes from the 3 months ago meeting that we had? No, okay. Then I'll just consider that approved by, I guess, unanimous consent, since there's no objections to it. Anybody out in the public?
I'm sorry.
Okay. So I don't think we've had all the committee comments already. So I guess we're ready to adjourn. Right, great. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good gavel.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Yeah, you need to